I want us to take a look at this clip of an interaction between the police and someone that they thought, and they claimed, was committing domestic violence, and it turns out that he wasn't. Let's take a look at the clip.
This dude? Probably. It's a few minutes, yeah.
Turn around for me. What? Turn around.
What?
Turn around.
Why?
Turn around because I told you to. Turn around.
What are you doing, bro? I live here.
All right, we got a call. Okay, man. I don't know who I'm looking for yet. Come on, step. Turn around, man. What is your problem, dude? Turn around, dude.
You don't have no reason to do this to me.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing? What is your problem? Get up against the wall.
Look what you're doing to me. Jeez.
Jeez, dude. What are you doing? Stop.
Hey, yo, Michelle.
Jeez.
Yo, you're looking for the people upstairs, bro.
I don't know.
Now, this was a black man just outside of his home in Los Angeles, and his name is Anton Alston. He's a music producer known professionally as Tone Stacks, and he was taking out the trash when all of this happened. Anton, I want to read a quote from Vice News. Anton Alston's neighbor had called 911 about her ex-boyfriend, spurring the police response. The actual suspect, a white man, escaped during his arrest. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, look, you hear on the tape, the cops don't know who the suspect is. They don't even know the race. They called in the race, but the 911 dispatcher didn't get to the race of the suspect. So the cops that were responding didn't know. That's why he starts by saying, the first cop asks, "Is that him?" And the cop goes, "Probably." Jesus. Why probably? It's just a random guy in the street. Why probably, right? And then you see near the end of that video that we showed you, the cop says, "I don't know," as to like what's going on and why we're arresting you. And if you want to say, "Hey, listen, you say you live here, but we just got a call, so stay right there, okay? And Bobby's gonna stay with you. Let me go check this out." Okay, all right. They started putting handcuffs on him.
Right.
What? And then they're like, "Hey, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" Because you came at me in front of my house and started pushing me around and arresting me for no reason while the actual culprit is getting away right now. What's wrong with me? Well, the right question is, what's wrong with you? His attorney, Faisal Gill, had such a great line. And he said, quote, "They literally saw the first black man and they arrested him." No, that's exactly what happened. You saw it on the tape. They're like, "Oh, that black guy." Well, probably it's him. Well, I mean, look, if that isn't ingrained racism, I don't know what is.
I'm just not sure why you keep making it a race thing, Cenk. Isn't that ridiculous? You can see them on tape go, "Is that the guy? Probably." And then if someone says, "Hey, that's a bit of a racist statement," they'll go, "This is what's wrong with this country." Instead of, again, you should say, "No, it's not racist because." You don't have that answer because there is no good answer for that. What else reason is it? Because he's 6'2" maybe, and the description was 6'2"? No, they didn't say that either. You have nothing. You have nothing to make this assumption that this is the guy. And by the way, if you're there to investigate and find out who the domestic violent, the potential suspect is, and you see a guy out front and he goes, "Hi, hey, what's going on?" Why is the first thing turn around? Why isn't it, "Hey, so we got a call about someone who's not supposed to be here. Is that you, bro?" Why, even if you think it's him, you're already the cops. You're two of you. You got billy clubs, you got guns, you got protection, you got all this stuff. You can stand there and go, "Hey, so what's going on? We got a call. Is this you?" You could even say that, which I think is a little bit presumptive, but that's better than "turn around." We're trying to find out. What does turning around and handcuffing someone have to do with finding out? Nothing. It's just taking someone in.
It actually gets worse. Emma Ackerman with Vice News reported, she said, Austin's girlfriend, Michelle Michaelwitz, came to his aid and tried to intervene while wearing a bathrobe that at times came undone, leaving her naked before the officers. She demanded to know what was happening and why the officers were detaining him. Now, I wanted to make sure we got that one in there because if they're there for domestic violence, here's his girlfriend. Now, unless there was somebody else that he was supposed to have assaulted, but here's the girlfriend saying, no, this is not the guy. Because here I am defending him, but that wasn't enough. And now she's suing. She was later pushed to the ground. She could be heard screaming, "You have the wrong guy." In the body camera footage, while there were 2 in custody, officers allegedly laughed while reviewing body camera footage from the incident, which shows Michaelwitz's naked body. According to the lawsuit filed by the couple, both Austin and the woman were held in jail for hours, paying a total in $57,000 in bail, according to the suit. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So look, the other part of this that drives me crazy about the police training is they go and they literally start the physical violence, right? They push them, they grab them, they start putting handcuffs on them. And then when the guy goes, "Wait, what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, that's it, you're being violent." And it's an offense to me that you're not immediately listening to me as I rough you up. No, that's not offensive. You roughing him up for absolutely no reason is offensive, okay? But they genuinely believe it. They've been taught, you just go and hit them. Okay, and if they ever dare even look at you wrong or say anything wrong, you hit them again and you charge them with resisting arrest. That's the #1 go-to move, right? So look, is a different story from today. Representative Park Cannon, she's the one in Georgia who's knocking on the door of the governor, and the cops arrest her for knocking on the door, which it's obviously not a crime. So they had to make up a crime. So first thing they say is resisting arrest. I say this every time, resisting arrest for what? She was knocking on a door. Resisting arrest by itself can't possibly be a crime. What was she being arrested for? So then they get caught and then they have to make up a crime. And they say, we showed you guys the video in an earlier story. She couldn't have been more polite, right? They're like, the cops said she was stomping on them. I mean, they roughed her up as they're arresting her. And she was stomping, and she's a state legislator. She wasn't stomping on them. It's the most absurd thing you've ever heard. But after they go and assault this guy, and then they push in this particular story, they push his girlfriend to the ground, etc. Then they're like, okay, it's their fault. They wouldn't listen to us.
Yep.
Isn't it your fault that you arrested the first black man you saw without asking a single question?
No. Hey, you guys know me. I see a lot of suspicious activity everywhere I go because I watch people without them knowing I'm watching them. Because I always think somebody's up to something.
Yeah.
Some people call it paranoid, but the difference between that is I can't just look at somebody and go, "What are you doing? Turn around." And if I did, they could go, "Get off me! What's wrong with you? What's the problem? Crazy?" And I'll be like, "Hey, I'm just a good Samaritan. And I feel like there's a problem going on here. Turn around." Come on, are you kidding me? So why is it just because you have a gun and a badge, you can do the same thing? Why does that protocol change? That you can walk up on any citizen with zero knowledge of who they are. No one even told you. They couldn't even say you fit the description of a suspect, which every black person has heard. You fit the description of a suspect that we got a call for when they've gotten no such call. They couldn't even give him that because he didn't fit a description because they didn't get one. The description is a black person because there's a violent call we just got.
Black must be black.
That's how it works. Because they're just members of society, and they've been told. Black folks have been told this, by the way, that black people are the violent members of society, and then go on down the escalating scale of who else is a little bit less intimidating and a little bit less violent from there. And from that point, all cops are just members of society. I always wonder this. I'm sorry, I'm keep filibustering here. Sorry, Joe Manchin, but the thing is that happens is we can go ahead and assume things about folks as we've been perpetuating those lies and those stereotypes and biases against certain people our whole lives. And then all cops are people who have a job that they get to carry a gun and a badge and tell people because based off of sometimes their own biases, they make decisions about what to do based on the law. And after they clock out and go home and drive back in their F-150, they're just a citizen again. What's the difference between them and Joe Schmo, who's an accountant? They get to then carry out their biases against the public any way they choose. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna end on a serious point and a lighter point. Every time anybody mentions the stereotype of black people being more violent, every bone in my body just is rebels against, every fiber of my being rebels against that injustice of that insane talking point, right? And that stereotype that was put in. Who whipped who? Who tore the skin off of whose back? Who violently kidnapped, enslaved, and destroyed families, and murder after murder after murder? So you don't want to start a conversation about who's the more violent race, certainly in America, because there's a very, 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 very clear answer. And of course, if I say it, people will lose their minds. They'll be like, oh, you can't call white people more violent. That's only for black people. Oh, that's weird. Now, of course, the reality is no one race is more violent than the other. But historical context in this country is, as time and geography and history would have it, yes, in this country, white people have been 1,000 times more violent. They just have, that's a fact. It's not an indictment of white people, that's silly. All human beings are equal. But in this country, that's how it happened. So I will never tolerate anybody saying black people are more violent when we have facts in this country, okay? And the reason they do that propaganda is to then further do violence against black people. So let's be clear about that.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.